Hello, 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 everybody. It is a new day in the game. It is your host, Mighty Vicious. If you're watching me on Facebook, of course, it's Will TSTI Johnson. And we're talking a little bit today about a plethora, a myriad of things. One of those things will be things I miss from the 80s, as well as someone brought up off of a conversation I was having earlier with another streamer about civil discourse. And it's something you hear about a lot when it comes to, whatever political agendas being sprouted at the moment. But it's basically the idea that we can no longer have honest conversation or discourse and everybody's mad all the time. And you're going to see me try to wrap those two things into the same conversation. I hope you're all doing well today, as it's been a day. Personally, in my life, it's been quite the day. Just some of it depressing, some of it just status quo, I guess you would call it. Just a normal day for a human, right? A normal day for a human. So the first, if you're not new to this podcast, you know that I love to talk about how great life was in the 80s. Because it was great. As a kid growing up in the 80s, things are much happier than they are now. I'll tell you that much. Sorry, I had to open up my chat so I could see what's going on Facebook. For those that don't know, we do this every day for at least an hour on Tuesday through Friday, and we just talk about everything under the sun. I figured no better time than when you're trying to relax from work on a lunch break. Pokey, I expected nothing less. Thank you for at least throwing the lurk. I appreciate my lurkers. Always. Pokey PF, for those that don't know, is my friend V, and she is a lovely, fiery little Asian devil who's just, like I said, just lovely. She likes to play League, and when I first started streaming, I would only stream with her, and we would play League of Legends and just relax and, pretty much keep to ourselves. But I've been looking to try to get back to us doing some gaming, because as everyone knows, I don't really do gaming a lot on this channel. I was thinking of possibly doing gaming today, but we'll see where the conversation leads us. We'll see where the gray bush can take you. Some of you may be looking at it right now being like, bruh, you ain't gray. And I got a few hairs. And I also have a few hairs missing. So, if anybody finds those while out in the world, let me know. Because, stress does things to people. It does a lot of things to people. So I guess from there, we'll go into the conversation about civil discourse. Let me see. A lot of the talking heads on the television will always tell you that, it's this left versus right, political agenda. This person's lying to you, that person's lying to you. But I'm going to tell you, because a lot of people do sit back. They don't like to be associated with either side. I am included. But a lot of people sit back and they wonder, like, they just think it's all shit. Like both sides are full of shit, which they are. And then they wonder, and then they sit back and like, well, basically no one will fess up to their lies. Like that's just the bottom line. Nobody will say what's really going on. Now, for those who sit back and watch us on Wednesdays with me and my co-host Red Nebula Pictures, if you're on Twitch, go throw him a follow. I'm sure you'll be entertained. But, he constantly talks about conspiracy theory, like shadow government type stuff, which some of it isn't really as far reaching, I think, as he thinks. Like he thinks like, other people don't think this, that he must be just the loon for thinking this. No, I'm crazy too. Don't get it twisted. I own up to it. Or as the Tick would say, I'm going sane in a crazy world. But the truth of the matter is everybody's lying. That's just, they're secretly all working together. But they sow civil discourse, and they never, what they're lying about is basically what the underlying problem is as far as why we as a society can't have civil discourse. And the real reason that we can't talk about anything, that we can't take a joke, that there is this completely media contrived outrage culture, because there is no culture. Don't be lied to, guys. What it is, and I talked about this before, but it's a 24/7 news cycle. It's no longer Ron Burgundy on at 7 p.m. to tell you about the day's news. They are trying to create news for every second of the day. And for that reason, seasoned journalists who have spent their whole lives basically trying to dig for stories, they're having to report so much news that they just take anything at this point. CNN will report on a conversation, as y'all saw 2 weeks ago, for if you watch any of the other podcasts, like CNN talked about a Twitter conversation. And it wasn't just CNN. It was CNN, Fox, MSNBC, all the big guys. They were sitting there talking about a Twitter argument that was going on over whether or not it should be considered taboo if one were to choose to have sex with robots. Think about that. Why is that in the news? Why would you have a conversation about, well, first of all, why would you quote Twitter on anything? Like, I get that you kind of have to with the president that we have here in the United States, but why would you quote Twitter on anything? Let alone, why would you put into the national news a story about people on Twitter arguing sex with robots? That shows you just how strapped they are. Like how there always has to be something. I don't believe, like, so they'll take a minority of people. Let's call them Karens or maybe Becky. Let's take one of those. They're taking all the things that Karen and Becky say on the internet about what they're unhappy about, and they're turning it into a national news story. But the underlying thing under all of that, after all the unhappiness and everything else, well, I kind of just said it. The real issue is that everyone's not happy. And I don't mean not happy as in everyone has to live in a utopia and that basically the world needs to be all roses and what some people would call fair, but other would call, asking for too much. It's not that people, basically it's that people aren't happy. That's it. And everybody wants to talk about the symptoms of the problem and not the problem. The problem is you want to know, do you want to know why Republicans and Democrats can't agree on anything? Well, because ultimately it's because if you really look at the source data, if you look at the census of how everyone feels the same. The problem is that they're making you fight about other things. They're making you focus on things that don't matter at all. Like they want to say it, like, if you want to go back through, I'm trying to get away from politics, but it's kind of like, it's the easiest thing to point out right now. But the problem is no one's happy, everyone feels cheated, and nobody feels appreciated. That's the bottom line. People are too poor to feel comfortable in their own skin and feel that there is a future in which they can provide for their family. And when people feel like this, it's proven over and over again. Hello, Jinx Deadpool. I'm pretty sure you know by now what we're discussing, but I'm discussing as the gray bush. Basically, we're starting with social and public discourse. What people are mistaking for, or how people are mistaking an outrage culture for simply a 24/7 news cycle. And we're going to ultimately go into the missing generation in the 80s. And so that's the whole overview for those that have just shown up. I appreciate you being here. If you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, please throw them out. Because all I'm doing is throwing out the idea. I'm throwing it out how I see it. The gray bush will not be offended by your comments, sir. But all I'm saying, as I was explaining to everybody, I got a few hairs. I got a few missing hairs. But overall, it's the gray bush in the winter. That's all I'm going to say. So you got to earn that bush, baby. So like I was saying, let me get back on task. I have my boys here and I love you all. Look, what it comes down to is, like I said, they want to keep you distracted on the symptoms of the problem, but then they want to weaponize it. And the way they weaponize it is by creating the enemy. It's the way it's always been in humanity's history. And so, it's part-time. My short and curly are now dreadlocks and gray. No doubt. No doubt. Gray bush strats, bro. So, my chest went gray before my hair. Beard went next. Now I got a couple popping up. I love that y'all are like so attached to the gray bush thing. Like, honestly, the first time I heard it mentioned was in that movie Grandma's Boy, when they referred to the old tester as the gray bush. For some reason, that thing just stuck with me. Great movie, by the way. Hilarious if you haven't seen it. It's old, but go watch it. No, part-time. So, anyway. Discourse. And why are we in this discourse? Because everybody's being bled dry. And that's just the truth of it. Everyone's being bled dry off of the last 60 years of promises that, guess what? They lied to you. Everything they said would work didn't work. And so you're asking two groups of people And those groups can fall within, they can be ever changing, but within different forms of social communication, argument about whatever. But you're asking two people who can't, basically, two people who are angry to have a conversation cordially. And that don't work. Not only, I mean, it doesn't work because it's not going to happen. None of it's going to happen. So, last week actually, we had a podcast where we were talking about some pretty hefty things. We were talking about U.S. exceptionalism and its impact on other cultures and countries. And one of the things that I kept trying to throw in there was just where the conversation has to start. And being that you have your points, you can take the most differentiating standpoints on things, but you have to find a common ground if you're going to move forward amicably. Now, some people's common grounds, because they don't know what they're arguing, they don't know why they're actually saying what's coming out of their mouth, or that they've fallen prey to the idea, well, basically to the false problem. Those people, you might have to start on their side. But that takes giving a little. And it could take taking a little. And that's a little bit outside of where we are as a people right now. Unfortunately. Too many people, working too much, can't raise their family right. They got to be absent even though they're doing everything they're supposed to be doing. People have jobs just to work. I would say it's to live, but it's really working just to work. You have people that can't afford health care. You got people who, name the social ill of your choice, and you have people doing it, or suffering from it, or succumbing to it. But they'll have you argue something completely different other than the fact that they lied and their pockets need to get fatter. So, that's what I have to say on social discourse. Oh my God, facts. Taking everything from me except my soul. They don't want that. Wait. They'll come for it. Don't worry. They'll come for it. And I think a lot of it, as far as I'm concerned, or my generation is concerned, here comes the 80s. Basically, I have always felt like my generation is the lost generation. Those who were born and grew up in the 80s. Now, I'm going to tell you why I believe this. I believe this because I believe that we came after the digital revolution. And I believe we were too old by the time it lost its stigma. Basically, everything is digital right now. And you could take it all the way back to the cliche statement of parents in the 80s of, hey, stop messing with that computer and digital shit. Grow up and get a real job. Or something around those lines. Most people heard it about their video games, but some of us who were diving a little deeper and our interest, like we were trying to learn things, like we still got stopped because that wasn't the way it was done. So dealing with computers had a stigma. Dealing with video games had a stigma. And therefore, we were dealing with the beginnings of the internet, and that really had a stigma. And so basically, we came after the the shot of business. Like when you think of everything that came because of the technological advancements. Like I always used to tell my friend, if Kevin Smith if he was younger and he was trying to make a movie now, and if he had made Clerks now, we wouldn't know who Kevin Smith was. And I truly believe that. Not because he's not great, not because he isn't a genius in his own way, but because if you look at the difference in what people were willing to accept as film. Why? Because of technology. Technology, to think that someone could make a film like Clerks, basically off of the budget that he made it, that's still a fairly, no offense, but that's still a fairly new concept. But to see it done when he did it, and to see it done when he did it was special. And that's why he deserves all the credit in the world, no matter what you think about his movies. But if he tried to do that now, he would be unknown. Completely unknown. And there is no real way to prove it other than the fact that I have seen people who are way better as far as technically than he is with the same quality of Clerks, because technology is fantastic. I mean, now, you could have shot Clerks on a cell phone as long as you had the right materials, but it's still not that thing. But you still, you have to have people backing you. But basically, it was special then, but it isn't special now. So while I never wanted to be and you have to look at the fact also that Hollywood is completely elitist right now, and you can tell because they won't let any new ideas in. They unless you have a connection, Hollywood ain't letting you in. They're not going to let you get your shot. And I know some people who know me are going to be like, no, you're just being salty. No, I'm not. I'm really not. Because I believe the only time they'll do it, and this is why ultimately when I used to live in LA, I would tell people, I'll come back when they call me. Because ultimately, until you have a product that they can exploit, you're not going to get anywhere unless you have a group of people, all of you are geared towards actually doing said thing. You need to be able to do it without any help outside of people who are so down for the cause that you're almost like a goddamn ninja clan. And that's where a problem comes about. That's why what he did in the 80s, or what he did during the 80s to create what his empire through the 90s is so impressive. But it was easier to get noticed back then. And you can extrapolate what I've said about film to just about everything. Talk about, the clan of the indie film. People literally don't understand. I have been trying to make one film, and I've rewritten scripts down to needing literally zero budget. All I need is people, the cameras, which I have people who can handle the cameras now, so I'm still working on it. Don't mind you, I'll never give up. Not until I'm in the grave. But I've been working for the last 15 years to try to get a group of people who won't flake out on me and actually make a movie. And that is not in any way an exaggeration. I can pull the receipts. So that is what's special. That's why I've always liked those movies like basically, Goonies, or television shows like Stranger Things, or things like Super 8. Uh, just any movie like that. Super 8 was really special to me because one of like the biggest things that I always wish I had was that group. Pardon me. That group of people, whether it was childhood friends or whatever, where it was like they were so tight that they all just backed each other's play. No matter what it was about, no matter what came of it, they just backed the play. And like I said, I've always wanted that. So I always love watching movies that have that sense of dynamic between a group of people trying to achieve or accomplish something. And it's really hard. That's like the hardest thing in my life. That's the hardest thing to accomplish. It really is. But yeah, back to what I was saying about the generational, the mystery lost generation. So when we came about, the people who had done the computers and all that shit, they were already building empires. They were already rich. They had already cornered it. And then when Jinx, they are spread out, but I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. But so you have the first generation, they're already set up. Then you had the ironing out, take out the taboo aspect. And that's when me and my people, my generation, were basically coming to be. But while that was happening, we weren't able to fully access and basically capitalize on the technology as it was being built. We were merely setting up the cultures that you now see amongst the young that has all their opportunity. Now, being that the technology happened so fast and its growth happened so fast, there wasn't like a full generational gap where, we got to sit with it, learn with it, go with it, and then we like excelled through, like, created the avenues through which you could survive, like Twitch, like YouTube, all those things. Basically, those avenues were set up by the gray bushes. The gray bushes that basically got yelled at, called perverts, called nerds, called everything under the sun because he liked video games and comic books and blah, 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 blah. All those things that we took bullets for. Those are the things that people can excel at now. Now, I'm not singing a woe is me. I've accepted my fate. I've accepted my fate. But that is the God honest truth. And it can, as I said, be summed up in the old conversation of, getting yelled at by your parents to get off video games and stop reading comics. I heard all of those things growing up. As I always tell people, all the Toonami kids. I was watching Dragon Ball and watching anime when everyone thought that all anime was porn. And I mean, they would see you watching Dragon Ball and they would make fun of you because they thought that Dragon Ball was the same as hentai. So this may sound like the woe is me, but it's not. I enjoyed my childhood. I loved my childhood. Everything that I got to experience, I would not give for anything. But while we were taking those bullets, what do you get now? Kids live online. They live online. they become successful at businesses online. And I'm not, and yo, that was my point, Fuzzy. I used to be like, yo, y'all need to sit down and watch this. It wasn't, I wasn't looking for a circle jerk, but that's it. Like back when I watched anime, everyone thought it was porn. All of it. Not just some of it, all of it. You could be watching Dragon Ball, you could be watching old episodes of Speed Racer, all of it was porn. The kids would think it, the parents thought it. We were basically just like the people under the stairs. Also a reference. But that's like, yo, you could say, I mean, you're in New York, okay? So you were in a hub where it was ultimately, y'all had that diversity to go against that. I know, you're part of the generation that could benefit. No, I'm just you're not that much older than me. But no, it's basically, that's what I'm saying. Like in New York, I'm not talking about the like main population centers. I'm talking about the rest of the friggin' world, or the rest of the country. Excuse me, not the world. The world would be like, we do not understand what you're saying. And I'd be like, but listen, bro. So all I'm saying is like, this is basically where it was, like how it happened. But now you have kids that basically, by the time they hit 16, they might be millionaires. Why? Because they're playing games. They didn't deal with the taboo of what is now pop culture, but was subculture. And I think that simple aspect and differentiation between the two things is what basically canceled my generation. Now, I'm not saying that we can't get jobs. I'm not saying that we can't provide. I'm not saying that we can't be even quote unquote successful. Anyone can be successful. It's purely a mental attitude over what you're trying to do. But anyway, you know what I mean in the grand sense of successful. I'm not saying we can't be those things. I'm saying that we definitely started at a disadvantage because of what we had at the time as opposed to what is available now and what coincides with the social view on those things. Fuzzy he says, I mean, some of them Yu-Gi-Oh cards, they weren't wrong. Fucking Yu-Gi-Oh. Back in my days when I used to rap, my friend is this kid, like straight out of, I mean, just like this dude was like the hardest, like gangster thug motherfucker ever. Hey, one day this motherfucker was like, yo, you want that Yu-Gi-Oh though? Now this is like, shit. This is like late 99, early 2000s. Like this is when I was still, no, this was in the latter part of our relationship, but yeah, in the 2000s. And he was like, yo, you want that Yu-Gi-Oh though? Man, I'd be killing with these Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'm like, yo, times is definitely changing. I smiled. It makes me smile now. Just thinking back to that. Every time I talk to him from that point on, he just, yeah, man, I'm on that Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm crushing these kids out here, bro. And I'm like, yo, that is funny as shit. But I appreciated it. It was, yo, I mean, for real. If you talk to this dude, you would not expect him, honestly, you wouldn't expect him to know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, it would still be surprising. I mean, just they gave it the time. Not that it's impossible for him to know. But yeah, that, Yo, he did, man. Yo, he had the whole thing, and he would tell me about it, and I'm just like, yo, I'm not into Yu-Gi-Oh, man. Why you keep pushing this? He's like, yo, you just don't know, man. You just don't know what we be doing to these kids out here, man. I be leaving them crying, bruh. They don't even know. They can't mess with it. And I'm like, I guess. It's fucking Yu-Gi-Oh. I, of course, was way too together by that point in the styles of anime, manga, and just overall Japanese weeboo culture to ever let him actually tell me anything about. No, I'm just fucking with you. But the point is that. F's in chat. Sending him to the shadow realm. Yes, exactly. Oh, God, but those were good times. And like I said, I wouldn't trade him for anything. I loved growing up in the 80s. But as it comes to later in life, I mean, you don't have to agree with me or not. Banish them kids. But it's just, that's my assessment. That's how I've seen it all play out. Where it's like, I mean, let's be real. Twitch is a young man's game. The bush is way too gray to be out here, but I love talking. I love conversing with people, seeing different opinions. I don't have a green faux hawk. I don't drink Mountain Dew or some sort of energy drink to get my, to stay up for 24-hour streams. No, I'm good. But that's what it does. That's the culture. I mean, outside of people that you may know, just go through certain games that you like and see there's okay. There are. But they also weren't born on Twitch. No, I told you. I need you to look back through your text messages, Pokey. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. And I may still play the game. I might. But being that, look, you said you weren't going to be here. You know what? We're going to have this argument right out open on the stream. You said that you weren't going to be here, that you were going to be doing other stuff. See, that's what I'm saying. Now you back to work. How you going to come in and complain that I'm not playing a game after I gave you a beautiful shout out earlier in the same stream about how we used to play games together and it was all good? How you going to come and yell at me and then say you leaving when I just told you I might still play the game? See, you want some shit. That's all it comes down to. You want some shit, but I still love you. I still love you. Now go get your work done. Stop being a non-responsible adult like me. You don't like finger? You don't like finger? I'll give you finger all the time, girl. All right, then. Coming out here acting crazy. You wait till I get home. Just you wait. Anyway, sorry for the tangent that we went on. First of all, you are not a white woman. You are not a white woman. This is a beautiful Viet Asian queen that y'all are seeing type before you. Said me, ho. Excuse me. I was meant to be white. Yikes. I think you need to go and watch the podcast we did the other week. My inner body said so. First of all, you don't have an inner voice. You have a complete inner body. Like your inner voice has like, God damn. Okay. Okay. The inner body. got like 3 people in there. Exactly, man. This is like, but that's why I love hanging with Pokey. And one day I'll be able to get her on here with me and she can tell you all the good stuff and probably curse me out like 3 or 4 times. But that comes in the future. Or as Bane would say, that comes later. So, basically, I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at this. You got 3 people in there. Old DMX style. And an alien. Damn, 3 people and an alien. So, yeah, me too. So, anyway, I was going to play a game, but I didn't feel like, I don't know, like it's a game where I want to play with, like I want to play it and actually be able to converse with people. But I'm not going to lie, Thursdays are my slow days, it seems, as I've been looking at the statistics of my stream, trying to find the algorithm to success. Basically, I just wanted it to be a time when a bunch of people are in. And Thursday's a slow day, so I kind of chose against it. I might actually stream earlier tomorrow and just start it up anyway. I have to decide. And I was also looking at Steam because there's a game that came out that looked really interesting to me. What is it called? What was it? Lucy LeClue or something like that? Well, I mean, what was this shit called? Jenny LeClue, Detective. It was an indie game. It's like $20, and it came out today, like literally like 30 minutes before this stream. And I was trying to find information on it to see if I would actually like it, or if it looked like it was pH balanced for me, but it wasn't really pH balanced for me. And after I started doing that and I was talking with a friend about what I'm talking about right now on stream, my topics for today, and I was like, you know what? This is usually the slow day. So let me try to do Fridays early and see if I could get a bunch of people through to actually talk with me while I play this game. Because it is, but, well, not the LeClue game, but the other game, Little Misfortune. Which is absolutely adorable. It is adorable and a great game. If you haven't seen any of it, try to wait till I play it tomorrow. And if you have to work tomorrow, tell them you're not coming in. You need to watch a stream. It's going to be perfect. Believe me, just tell them that Mighty Vicious said you need the day off. They'll listen. And if they ask who Mighty Vicious is, just say, you can't really talk about Mighty Vicious. He doesn't like his name being spoken out there, unless it's to get you out of work, of course. So I was going to do noon because I do noon every day, but I was thinking of starting a little earlier because I've actually, though I've been able to keep the numbers up going at noon on certain days, other days are really rough at noon. And while y'all know I could sit here and have sat here and talked to myself for a complete hour, I feel like there's like a sweet spot where it's like if you start at like 10:30, then you can pick up the early crowd and they actually stick around. So like everybody's already decided where they're going to be come noon on a Thursday. Apparently, this is me looking completely at stats. This isn't like just my opinion. This is like the only way the stats make sense to me. But for those who were here yesterday, I actually raided a friend of mine in Singapore named Ampy. And that's not her real name. That's just what she goes by, Ampy. And she was playing it yesterday. And I needed to go get stuff done after the podcast yesterday, and she literally I was there until she beat the game because the game Little Misfortune is just so adorable. Like it's weird. It feels almost like a Bizarro World Powerpuff Girls type thing, but more cutesy, but also about 3 times as dark. It's pretty impressive. That's all I'm gonna say. It's impressive as a game to me. So I'm probably gonna do that tomorrow, and I hope people can join, because you won't regret it. Not only will you probably tear up, but you will also laugh your ass off. So if you're looking to shave a few pounds on that derriere, come tomorrow. But anyway, back from not pitching tomorrow. We are almost at the end of the hour already. I know it went by so fast, but yeah, that's how I truly feel about the idea of social discourse. I don't believe that there's an outrage culture. I believe it's just the fact that the news cycle needs to push something new every 5 minutes. So they're going into people's Twitter accounts to find something to put up on the news. And that's also how I feel about what I consider to be the 80s lost culture. And the 80s was a strange time. Don't get me wrong. As I've gotten older, I look back and I realize just how strange it was. But in its strangeness, it was beautiful. So, yeah. There's the last bastion of happy American society. So, anyway. Pokey, are you still here? Or have you already started playing TFT? Yeah. Pokey has been having a real issue. What's his name? Tyrone Biggums, the Chappelle character, the crack addict. Right now, that's Pokey. Pokey when she's playing TFT, which is League of Legends new game mode, which is basically auto chess like they've had in many other games before. She is hooked. Like, we never played. Now, out of all the years, we've been playing League of Legends for like 6 or 7 years now. And she never wanted to play ranked, ever, of anything. But she is trying to climb rank hard in TFT. The bug has got her. It's got her. And I'm enjoying it because she gets unapologetically ragey when it comes to that game. And I'm not going to lie, my blood pressure goes up a little too. It's not for the sake of winning or losing. It's for the sake of whether or not it's fair. And right now the game is still new, so all of its balancing is being worked out, as well as like item distribution and all that shit. So sometimes you can just be put in a very unfair TFT situation. But I love that Pokey, my friend V, Pokey PF. I'm glad that she is like so involved in it. Love the show. Get Down, though. That was like going back to the hood back in the day. Yep. Facts. So, what are y'all doing for the rest of the day? What are y'all up to? Because like I said, I'm only here for the today for the obligatory hour. And tomorrow is when we will start Little Misfortune. So, and I promise you, you will not regret seeing this game. It is amazing. And it is cute. And it is dark. It is straight up bonkers. Straight up bonkers. So, damn. To quote Rihanna, whack, 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 whack. And whatever the hell she says in that song, it's like, twi. That fucking song. I'm going to save my movie reviews for Monday when we do the Geeks in the Hood podcast, because I have recently seen Hobbs and Shaw. Finally saw Toy Story 4. I rewatched The Mummy from 2017 with Tom Cruise, and I watched Dracula Untold. I have not played Little Nightmares. I did come across it in a previous search I did like yesterday for some reason. But anyway, I have heard of it. Never played it. Oh, yeah. Your boy out here sleepy, apparently. I will rewatch those two movies this weekend. Man, I'm going to tell you. You know what? We're going to save it for the podcast. We're going to save it for the podcast. I'm just... After seeing Dracula Untold and The Mummy again, man, I actually really want the Dark Universe. I want it. And Universal, you better give it to me. But anyway, it's a great game. You would love it. I will look it up. As a matter of fact, I can look it up right now. My wrist is hurting. I know that's random as fuck, but my wrist is like really hurting today. I think it's arthritis. Yeah. Wait a minute. Game. I know Little Monsters, the movie, is like a classic. Not at all, bro. Wrong hand. Little Monsters. What in the 8-bit hell is going on in this picture? What is happening in this game? Wait. Little Nightmares. Yeah, that's right. I was like, what in the fuck is happening? Little Nightmares. Well, this looks incredibly creepy. I don't know. This might be too stressful for my fucking soul. What's going on over here? Look at that thing. Y'all trying to have your boy out here screaming on the internet. That's what's going on. I don't even know what the fuck that is. There's a picture of a chef, and the chef is directly out of, like, Legion. What is going on? Oh, God. A game that Jinx told me to... Jinx told me to look up this game, Little Nightmares. And it is, I don't need that in my life. Real talk. I'll stick with my slightly creepy, but still, intellectually creepy mind grape things going on. This just looks like you trying to have your boy out here screaming like a little girl on the like a little girl on playing these games, bruh. Yo, I do not need this in my life. Real talk, man. Real talk. How long ago did this game come out? How long ago? Maybe with flawed graphical fidelity, I might be able to do it without having a heart attack on the goddamn stream. Well, Paula, then you get on Twitch and you play it. I'm just saying I saw a really effed up screenshot. And that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right, okay? That's all I'm saying. 2 years. Part 2 coming next year. Oh, well, it can stay next year, bro. I ain't doing that shit. Nope, me and Little Misfortune will be fine. Watch a vid at least. Oh, fine. I'll watch a video. I'll come back tomorrow while we're playing Little Misfortune, and we will decide what to do with that. I'm just saying. Yo, I'm telling you right now, I don't play scary games because I'm stressed when I'm not streaming. My whole day is stress. So I don't come to games to be stressed. I don't come here to have a stroke for your entertainment. That's all I'm saying. I'm out here trying to enjoy me, not kill me. So y'all trying to, don't you know your boy got blood pressure? That blood pressure not looking too good when I be playing that. I like watching people play horror games, especially when they're as animated as I can be. But you ain't going to have your boy out here screaming. That's all I'm going to say real quick. You ain't going to have your boy out here screaming. So that's what you get for trying to correct people, you word Nazi in my chat. I see you out here. That's why you misspelled too. Gonna sit there try to asterisk somebody. Anyway, your boy ain't playing it. Bottom line. The only time, and I'm going to tell you, a lot of it is because I don't like games that put you, you know what? This is what's going to happen. There we go. There we go. We going to time out Miss Murphy, who want to act like, you can just come up in here and talk to Mighty Vicious like that. You can. I'm just playing. But I think this is going to last longer than it should have. So I apologize. I apologize. I did not mean to ban you for that long. Damn. Oh, well. That's what you get. And you know what? I didn't ban her. I just timed her out so she can hear me. But yeah, that timeout is like a crazy amount of time. I thought the normal timeout was like 15 seconds. That shit was like, yo, timeout 300 seconds. I mean, I guess that's kind of wild, but I'm going to have to go and see how I can change that. I always say I won't play scary games because I am not putting myself in situations in a game I wouldn't put myself in real life. Yup, that's the truth. That is the truth. Real talk. See, and it's not even that for me, though. My thing is I don't like when I feel like a game is cheating. To go back to the old school rules. I don't like when I feel like the game is cheating. And I feel like horror games, they're cheating. Not only on being horror, they just cheat by making things way more difficult for reasons that they shouldn't be. For instance, after Resident Evil 1, if I were the character in Resident Evil 1, you would not catch me existing in this world without a full arsenal strapped to every piece of me. I would look like that dude from I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, who had all the ammo and all the different guns strapped around, and if I tripped, I would just blow holes in myself. I would look like that. Because if I knew zombies existed, why am I in the second game and I can't find no ammo? Why am I in the third game and I still can't find no goddamn ammo? Why? Thank you for your follow, Vic Chick. I appreciate it. My thing is, welcome to the Vicious Clan. I hope you enjoy your time here. Stream Tuesday through Friday, 12 noon. Monday, you see it. I got everything below the video. I got the timer that says when I'm going to be doing stuff. So anyway, so all I'm saying is if I know zombies exist, you best believe I'm going to be strapped down. I mean, I'm going as far as to say I'm going to have a missile launcher on my back. They could be like, yo, there goes Will. He always got that missile launcher on. Like, what is he waiting for? The zombies, nigga. That's what I'm waiting on. Like, I'll straight up. If there's, like, what was it, Game 4? Where you had to find the president's daughter or some shit? Where's she at? Oh, she in a village of zombies. Oh, really? Well, I hope she makes it out. This guy won't be going in after her. And then they send this boy, old Tristan or whatever his name is, old white boy. They send him in there. And he's sitting there getting bit on, hit with pitchforks. They even brought out a cave troll from Middle Earth for his ass. Like, ain't nobody got time for all that. You nuke that bitch, and then you go through with a stick, and you poke ashes to see if you can find something to remember her ass by. Because you ain't catching me out there. Real talk. You ain't even going to catch my fingers. You ain't catching my fingers on the controller out there. That's just how I feel. That's the real talk. And then you have games like Silent Hill. Like, I hate when a place looks obviously evil. And maybe that's just me. But I hate when something is obviously evil. Like, why? Like, if you're a demon or a villain or whatever the hell you're doing, why is it that you can't have nice floors? Like, just because you're evil, like, all your shit got to be bloody, all your shit got to be dingy, your walls got to be that 20 motherfuckers have died here off-white? Like, I don't know. That's just, but then again, that's just, like I said, that must be just how I feel about it. But yeah, bottom line, if there's zombies, your boy ain't there. So, hey, call me a coward. I'll be that. Real talk. So my fingers won't be there. My fingers won't be on that. And, you know, when I see people who love horror games, and they're just like one of my boys, he loved horror games. Every time a horror game came out, he would be up all night. He would be up all night, and he would be playing the game with some Four Loko or whatever the hell he was trying to drink at the moment. He used to just be crushing alcohol and playing these games. And this I'm going to tell you right now, this man had a stroke. He was amped. This man had a stroke. Not from playing the game, though. He had a stroke at another point doing something else. But he just loved it. Loved to get like so intense that he was just like, oh, the beginning of, I think it was the beginning of Dead Space. I think it was 2. Was it 2? No, I think it was Dead Space 1. When you come across the little chamber where on the other side there's like the control panel and there's one dead body of whatever they called those things. I don't remember what it was. But there's those little things that they used to that the normal creatures that you had to fight. And I remember that one of those things stood up. And he knew it was going to stand up. That's the funny part. He basically was like, oh, well, that thing's going to stand up later. So he goes and does this stuff. And then he comes back and he walks by the body. That motherfucker stands up. And he screams. And I mean like a little girl. Like, he wasn't like, ah, no. He like, I can't even do it. Because as y'all can tell, my voice is way too deep for that. But, like, he screamed. And I was just like, yeah, that's not fun to me. That's not good. The only semi-horror game I could play. The only semi-horror game that I was like really like gung-ho about, like I was like, yeah, was the very first Onimusha. Onimusha is a series that I wish they would bring back, by the way. I love Onimusha. I really do. Onimusha was good stuff. And the reason I say Onimusha is because I always felt prepared. I beat the game. As a matter of fact, I beat the first 3 games. I beat the first 3 games with the base weapon. With just the sword. And see, that's what I mean by being fair. No matter what I was fighting, the sword that they gave me in the beginning of the game was enough for me to defend myself not like a moron. And I mean, that's all it takes. Like, it can be scary, but I knew that no matter what, with the base weapon they gave me and the skill set that I had, that I could still survive in a reasonable, non-cheesy fight. When you take the sword out of my hand and go, oh, well, you need to just run. I'm like, nah, dog. Nah, dog. Me and my people, we've been running for too long. I ain't running. So then I die because you ain't give me nothing to defend myself. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Jinx. A complete remake of Onimusha would be amazing. Yo, if they gave me a sword, like, I'm gonna put it like this. Why in Resident Evil do you swing your knife like a... Hold up, let's be sensitive here. Why do you swing your knife like an autistic child when you're like a tactical Marine? Like, and I mean highly autistic. I'm not talking about like, you know, you just have some troubles here and there. A lot of my people have worked with autism, and I'm not trying to make fun of the handicap, if you will. But if you've ever seen, you know what, this is just digging myself a bigger hole. Look, all I'm saying is, why are you swinging it real? Like you don't like you're basically like you're a child trying to keep like a monster away. You're just, oh God. Oh, it's like, why? That's not fun to me. Can you give me a combo or something? Can you not make me have to go up and grapple with a zombie to get off a combo, please? Like, can you give me some upwards and downward slices? Maybe. So I could never play I could never play that series. I just could never do it because I just have too many questions. And for those that just got here, many of those questions are, why do I know zombies exist and all I got is like 3 bullets? Especially past the first game. Jinx, no, I understand. I get that the game needs to be scary, but why are you making it so people can't use everything they have? Why can't I jump? Perfect. Why can I not jump? And if I can climb, I climb like a person that does not have their limbs. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by they're cheating at creating horror games. Because they're not relying... Exactly, Vic. Or V-Chick. That which probably makes more sense. But either way. Like, yeah. Or Run Fast. Like, why am I the most... why is my character sucking at being human? Like, that allows you to make things scary through shitty controls. That's not scary to me. That's just you trying to put me in a position in which I can't do shit. Like, I can't jump, I can't climb, I can't run fast, my bullet's running out. I got injured in the cutscene at the beginning of the game, so I can't even walk that fast. Like, what is happening? Can't I just be a normal dude reacting in normal ways in a unnormal situation? Like, it's just too much for me. I can't take it. I can't take it. So I'm gonna look in. Paula, your suspension is up. All I'm gonna say, yes, yes, yeah. You sitting out here doing alchemy to heal yourself. You out here doing all types of shit to heal yourself, rubbing like what was it? Rubbing aloe on your cuts and shit, like forming. You got just a mortar and pestle, just chefing the impossible to keep yourself alive. But you have no actual training. Like, do you remember the aiming in the original? Can't make a damn shank. Yeah. Like, do you remember the aiming in the original games as well? Like, they got a little better, and the games got worse because they went more action-y. Like, because that's the thing. I respect the games even though I don't play them. Just because I don't like them doesn't mean that I'm like, oh, that's a shitty game. No, that's not my game. That's not how I do. But I honestly, why am I carrying a mortar and pestle? Yeah. It's like it's sitting out here. Apparently, you're a Navy SEAL with a specialist in botany. Like, whatever. So, I'm going to look into this Little Nightmares game, but I'm going to tell you from the jump. This joint don't look like it's good for my blood pressure. So, I might need CTFU, not botany. Oh, hey, corrected. But this Little Nightmares, Little Nightmares, not Little Monsters. This joint don't look good for my blood pressure. So I'm going to watch a video. I'm going to give it a chance. I might even get it just to play it and see just how bad they trying to, make your boy fall out here. But it's not looking good from these pictures I'm seeing. Well, from that picture, it makes me think I have seen it played. Anyway, like I said, I'll look into it. Fallout Boy? What are you talking about, Paula? The shit. Look, here we go. Your boy's almost out. Well, I got quite a few, but your boy's almost out. I don't have enough, and I'm not supposed to pop them like Tic Tacs. That's all I'm saying. Your boy's not supposed to be out here popping them like Tic Tacs. Y'all trying to kill me before the game and during the game, and then if I happen to survive, give me a stroke after the game. That's all I'm saying. Oh, that would be my blood pressure medication. Because I'm all about showing it to the people. I don't care. I don't care. I'm just a dude, just talking about games and random horse shit. So yeah, that was my blood pressure. Like, I'm not joking. When I'm not joking about my blood pressure. Like, I mean, mind you, according to my doctor, my blood pressure was excellent at the last time that I went. Well improved, but yeah, that. Oh, I'm taking care of myself. Yes, definitely. That's my main focus. For those that haven't known, because I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy out here, But the big boy, I've lost 91 pounds, and I'm looking to lose about 100 more until I can reach basically God tier dad bod. Not get ripped. I never want to be ripped. That's not my life. But if I can reach God tier dad bod, that's where I want to be. I still want a gut that if I have a kid, my kid can run and jump on it and be like, "Daddy," and I'll be like, "Oh shit, I'm still fat." And I want that feel. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Goals. I'm not out here trying to be The Rock. I don't need that much baby oil on me. I just want You know, God tier dad bod. I am married. I do not have children as of yet. As of yet. And God knows what else could happen. So, I don't know how she puts up with me. So honestly, I don't know how long I'm going to be married, but I'm just saying, I feel like I'd rather get my dad bod before I have the kid, because that's when a lot of things are going to be asked of me. And I don't want to be like, but baby, I'm fat. As my main excuse for why I won't get up to tend to the baby or play with the child or go through a bowl. I want to be like, but baby, I'm fat. I don't like to just go see the baby or have the baby bring me a sandwich. I'm so frail. So all I'm saying is, I'm gonna work on me. And once I get to where I want to be, even though I think I could, when I get to almost where I want to be, because according to my friend, like when his child was born, he could no longer eat meals. Like he didn't have time. So he had to basically eat whatever his child didn't eat. So he would have like 3 orange slices and like the skin off of a hot dog. And that's a true story. That is a true story. This man told me that he would eat. Casper, I am doing well. How are you, good sir? He told me that he got 3 orange slices and the skin off of a hot dog. That was his lunch. And I'm like, yo, why in the hell is there hot dog skin around? And he was like, that's because my son won't eat hot dogs with skin on it. I don't think I'm ready, guys. Because if I were to do it the way my dad did it, let me try to turn down some food and have some preferences. I'm going to tell you like it is. And one day I'll show it. But I know people like to joke and say, like, their black parents were like, yo, I'm going to whip the black off of you. My dad actually did it. There is a spot on me where I do not have any pigment anymore. I'm just going to put that out there. One day, I will show y'all this spot. It's not inappropriate. Twitch isn't going to try to get rid of me if I show you, but I just don't feel comfortable showing you right now. Later, I will give you the full view. But there is a spot on me. I didn't learn. I don't know. My dad used to beat us for everything back in the day. I appreciate him for it now. There are tons of stories. And while they may seem rough, I promise you, I appreciate my father for all the whippings he gave me. Because honestly, even after he beat me and I didn't learn the lesson, it stayed in my brain until I became older. And I understand now. Except for one. And I've talked about this one on stream before. But me and my brother were supposed to be going to bed one night. And me and my brother used to be really into chess. Like, I still kind of am, but I never play seriously anymore. Ever. I piss people off by how not serious I am about chess. Like, it's basically just moving without thought. I don't even care anymore. But me and my brother played chess instead of going to bed one night. We basically basically imagine the room behind me, but there's two like single beds, and there's the single bed, the end table or the nightstand, and then another bed on the other side. Well, me and my brother would put the chess table or the chess board. It wasn't a table. I mean, we were, it ain't that way. But anyway, we would put it on the floor in between our beds, and we would play chess. Now, we would always, basically just turn on the little lamp down by the floor so we could see the board, and we would play. But my dad and, parents overall, not just my dad. I wasn't raised by him. My parents are still together over like 50 years. It's a beautiful love. But we were playing the game. It got pretty intense, and one of us made a sound. I can't remember which one of us, honestly. One of us made a sound. It was too loud. It notified my father that we were not going to sleep. We were, in fact, not doing what we were supposed to be doing. And then we heard the closet door open. Now, the closet door to my parents' room was on the other side of our room. So whenever it opened, we could hear my dad had a belt holder, like his arsenal of belts. And they would just they were on the door. So when he opened the door, you could always hear the buckles hit across the door. And when we heard it, we knew. We knew that our time was over. We knew that there was no more fun to be had that night. So my dad comes through the door. It's like, I thought I told y'all to go to sleep or go to bed. And I feel like I tried to say something in my defense, but I think by the time the words got out of my throat, I was already screaming. I believe I was screaming for my life by the time I tried to get out that. But technically we are in bed. I felt like that's what I would have said. Like, technically we are in bed. But I was screaming by then. Because, Jinx, thank you for joining. I appreciate you as always, good sir. Have fun at work, or as much fun as you can, and I'll talk to you later tonight. So yeah. I would have probably deserved, I think, the whooping if I had actually gotten out the sentence, but I think he was like the Flash. I think basically, now that I think about it, I probably said it, and my dad was like, technically he's right. And I think in this alternate timeline, he went back to the room and thought about it. And then he was like, wait, why am I listening to a child? So he ran back in time, and he knew not to let me get the statement out of my mouth to save my ass and my pigment, the melanin in my skin. In my skin piece. And I think I think that's might have been what happened. He knew what I was going to say, so he started with me first and then moved on to my brother. It's like my dad, y'all know a Bobo, right? The dude in the beginning of Double Dragon, how he comes in, he just uppercuts the chick and then just puts her on his shoulder in the same motion. One of the most deliciously sinister punches ever thrown in gaming. But yeah, I think that's what happened. Like, my dad just came in and he was like, oh no, and he just hit us with the belt tornado, and he just fucked us right on up. Fucked us up. Anyway, that's how I see it now. That's how I see it now. So that is the only whipping that I got as a child that I would honestly say I didn't deserve. And there were times where I set my brother up. I'm not proud of it. But there were times where each of us had to take one for the team, because that belt was always inches away. Inches away. Like there was the time my dad sent us to the store. I don't know how this ended up being the ass whooping podcast. Okay, this is going to be the last story I tell, but I hope y'all are enjoying it. There was a time, like my dad used to send us to the store because I never, like even as a kid, I worked for my parents. So even though I have fond memories of like Saturday morning cartoons and things like that, I rarely got to watch them in real time. Like I became a VCR mage just so I could watch the cartoons that were on in the 80s and early 90s. But my dad used to send us to the store to pick up stuff. And me and my brother, we would go to the store, but in the back of the store, there was a Street Fighter 1 arcade game. So you know what we did. We would get what my dad wanted, and then we would calculate. We were trying to be smart. We would calculate how much we could spend of the change and how many games we could play without denting the change or denting his return money enough to where he would question what we did. This worked for I think it worked for probably like 8 months to a year and a half. And then one fateful day, we got greedy. We were like, yo, let's just play. We had about, I would say $47 in change that day. We came back to my dad with about $10. So we come back with $10. And my dad's like, yo, where's the change? And we were like, there's the change. This is the story about the setup. This is the story about one saving his own skin. So my dad's like, where's the change? We're like, that's change. And my dad was like, where's the receipt? We were like, oh, we didn't get a receipt. And I was like, he was like, so what happened to my change? And he was like, y'all better not lie to me. And me and my brother looked at each other. And I was the youngest. Out of friggin' fly out here. Anyway, I was the youngest. So I looked at my brother. And I looked at my dad. And I was like, he was playing video games. I was like, it was him. My dad beat the shit. And I mean the shit out of my brother. Like, he wasn't punching or anything. My dad and a belt was enough. Okay? My dad was like Onyx level God tier, like belt wielder. He beat the shit out of my brother with that belt. And I'll never forget it. Because my brother came out after he had been thrashed to within an inch of his life. My brother came out doing that, like, that cry. He came out doing that cry. And, and he was like, why didn't you tell him that you would play games too? Nigga, I ain't stupid. What the fuck was that? I will feel forever horrible about that day because I straight up was like, he did it. I saved myself from the lashings. I because it's funny. When you make it back to, like, when you look back on all the stupid shit you did as a kid, even the things that you're sorry for, you're going to laugh too. You are going to laugh too. Because it's hilarious how much things mean or meant at the time as opposed to what they really meant. Like, if it was now, I would take the ass whooping. But we're talking about when I was like 5. But, like, basically, if it was now, I would take the ass whooping. I don't care. But back then, that was like the end of the world. That was like, yo, I'm not going to have an ass for the rest of the day. And I'll probably still be hurting tomorrow. Like, I swear to God, pieces of, like, my ass meat would come off on his belt. I swear it. I swear, if I could have swore one day I was looking at the belt in his closet and I could have swore there were pieces of skin, like my ass cheeks, that, like, where I was sore, I felt like that's where the belt was hitting, and he had pieces of me on his belt. Like, I'm going to tell you, that belt, I don't know what was up with that belt, but my dad was Indiana Jones with that shit. So, that's all I'm saying. And yes, you don't remember much of your childhood, I am aware. But that's all I'm saying is, like, I can laugh at it now, but it wasn't funny back then. Like, yeah, I definitely tried to save myself. Definitely. But yeah, I mean, I would take it now. You do you do the crime, you get the time. I take it. But back then, Dad was like God. Dad was the end all be all. And if my dad gave you a whooping, shit, you start thinking of ulterior motives too. You be out here trying to pull the Danny Ocean of not getting your fucking ass whooped. That's just the realness of it. But I'll take it now. If I could go back, I'll take it then. It's just, it's a different thing to you at the time. It's kind of like, well, hey, it's the same thing now as if you don't want, like, if your mom yells at you and, you yell at her and she takes your phone. For you, that's like taking away one of the lifelines you have. You would pretty much try to do anything to stop that from happening. Well, that was my dad's belt. There was no goddamn iPhone or pad or anything like that. It was simply, yo, you do it, you get beat. So I don't know who's still here with me, but we're sitting here, we're getting close to the end. I will say, throw me a follow if you want to hear more stories. If you want to catch me doing more podcasts and keep on this daily 12 noon Audible lunch podcast. And I hope you've enjoyed your time with me. I do. I really do. Yeah. I will say, tomorrow, because maybe this will become a segment, all the ass whoopings I got. But maybe next, if someone can remind me. Now, I think about way too much to remember this. But if someone can remind me, I will tell you about the time I got an ass whooping for not liking Kentucky. I'm telling y'all, none of it is made up. None of it. I will, if someone can remind me, tomorrow, while we're playing Little Misfortune, I will tell y'all how and why I got ass whooping for not liking Kentucky. And I'm also going to tell you, surprisingly enough, like I said, there's that. I'm older now, so I understand things. But I'm going to also explain to you why I deserved it. Because when I tell you the story, you're going to be like, yo, you don't deserve an ass whooping for that. I'm going to tell you why I did. So anyway, if someone can remind me, I'll go over that tomorrow. I have appreciated everyone showing up today. Casper, part-time, even the people that are lurking. I appreciate my lurkers. Y'all are all welcomed here at any time. Anytime. But the time has come for your boy to say goodbye. Thank you for joining me. I love you all. Yeah, bye.